Hi, my name is Sydney, and today I'm going to show you just how easy it is to request a new rule in TaxView. On my screen, I have a populated data lab with 1 month of data for a tax rule created specifically for G&A equipment IT hardware. So here on my data grid, I have lots of different data elements and 60 different transactions in my view. Now, when I'm looking at my particular set of data, to make my tax determination, I like to look at the GL account, the vendor, and the invoice line description. So scrolling through my 60 lines of data, I see that I have the same GL account and the same vendor across the board. However, I have lots of different invoice line descriptions at play. To sort that and make it a little bit easier for me to look at, I'm going to do one left click on the invoice line description header, and that will resort my data, group it together so it's a little bit easier for me to digest. Scrolling through, most of these items do indeed look like IT hardware equipment. However, these first 4 lines for Adobe Photoshop, I believe, are probably more so SaaS. So I would like to create a new rule to treat all lines with Adobe Photoshop as the invoice line description as software as a service. To ask for that change, I'm first going to right-click an advanced filter to just my 4 lines for Adobe Photoshop. And then I'm going to scroll over to the right to my review fields. I'm going to check the first review checkbox, which will activate my review action dropdown. On this drop-down list, I have lots of great options for different ways I can handle it. Because I know I want a new tax rule, I'm going to create a change order tax rule. And then in my review comments, I'm going to leave a little bit of commentary to help my account manager know how I'm hoping to achieve a different result. So I'm going to say Adobe is SaaS. Now I'm going to right-click next to that original review checkbox and select all below to copy this action down to all applicable lines. Lastly, I'm going to hit save, and we can see right there, I just created change order 199. Now, what this does is this directly communicates with my account manager team so they know there is a change needing to be addressed in my environment. If I jump back over to my command center and refresh this batch, which our command center is our home screen in TaxView, I do see now that I have one incomplete change order. So I'm going to jump over to my account manager account and I will make this change and I'll be right back to show you what that looks like. I'm back. I've gone to my account manager profile and addressed the change order. So if we refresh our batch in the client view, we will see our incomplete change order has gone away and we now have one tax rule needing approval. So to close out this change order loop, you would go into your tax rule needing approval. We see we have one new rule for G&A software Adobe. We can right-click tax rule review and approve, and that will take us to our tax rule approval screen. Here we can see a lot of different information about this rule, but the keynotes today are that we can see our original change order Adobe is SaaS. We see that I've added in the invoice line description is equal to Adobe Photoshop. And in our mini data grid, we can see those 4 transactions that were originally marked for the change order. Last thing to show you here is if I go back to my original data lab and I want to clear all my filters, I can refresh my screen and I'm now down to 56 transactions and we can see those Adobe lines are nowhere to be found. So just like that, I've asked for a change, that change has been implemented, and because I requested that change as a new rule, that new rule for Adobe will work month over month anytime a qualifying transaction is in my data. So those purchases are fixed now and moving forward. If you'd like any more information on how to make changes in TaxView, let us know. We'd be happy to help.